All right, welcome back. Let's continue this very, very important discussion. I'm now being joined on the program by Onyekachi Ubani, who is a lawyer and also the chair of the MBA section on public interest. So thank you very much for joining us on the program. Let me get your take on this bill that the Senate has passed. How enforceable do you think the bill will be when it is eventually, or if it is eventually assented to by the president?
Yeah, it's a very intelligent question. The enforceability of the bill is the discussion that is clearly ongoing at this juncture. Now, I think that in lawmaking, law must be very sensitive and then reflect reality. You must also take into cognizance what you should pursue. The bill is not what I expect the legislators to pursue at this juncture. I think what they should pursue is to ensure that lives and properties are secure, that the government deploys all their machinery towards securing lives and property. But when you now begin to criminalize a situation where a victim of a problem becomes now somebody who will send to prison, is something that I cannot fathom. It doesn't make any sense. It's not logical. It's not something without, to me, it's without wisdom. And I'm clearly in doubt of the enforceability of that law, because I believe that anyone that is desperate to secure the life of his loved one or a loved one will do anything, including paying ransom, in order to get that person alive. And even government officials have paid ransom in order to secure life. So if the government officials have done that, and the same government officials are now criminalizing a situation where you have to take a practical step to save the life of somebody you love, I can't fathom the wisdom in this law, in this piece of legislation. I can't fathom the wisdom.
In practical terms, if a case like that was brought in court, how exactly would it be dealt with? Because we know, for instance, that even the exchange of this ransom is not done in the open. And I'm just wondering, how exactly will the court handle such a case?
Yeah, well, it's a matter of proof that ransom was paid. You have to provide either documentary or physical evidence of how the ransom was paid and who withdrew the money and who pays to who and who received the money. So it's a question of proof. But I tell you this, it's going to be very, very difficult to succeed in proving a matter like that. It's a matter that no receipt is given. It's a matter that even the people who are involved in paying ransom will always deny that they never paid.
Mhm.
And it's also difficult to get the kidnappers to agree that ransom was paid unless you arrest them with the money. So it's something that is, clearly going to be difficult in proving while the matter lies in court. So I don't know how they come up with this. As I said earlier, the attention of the legislator should be, how do we secure lives and properties? Why do people even pay ransom? That should be the question. Is it not when you become helpless that the government itself, of the agencies, are not capable of getting your relation released, are capable of protecting that relation, that you now have to take that desperate action of going to withdraw money? Who has money to give you pay, to go and withdraw and begin to pay to kidnappers? Is it that they have so much? It's issue that the life of your loved ones is more important than even wealth. So what you would do to get that person alive is what you can do, and you take that practical step. But if the state agencies are there to secure lives and properties and ensure that those who are kidnapped are retrieved from the kidnappers, why would I go and pay ransom? It's the last resort. You take that desperate action because your loved one is saying, look, if you don't pay this money, these guys are capable of, and then they keep on threatening. And when your relation is in their custody, and there is this issue that if you don't pay this money, they will kill that your relation. You can't, in all sincerity, sleep and you have money to pay and you won't like to pay that kind of money in order to secure the life of the person you love. So I don't see the wisdom in this law. Honestly, there is no wisdom in it.
What do you
And I
think
don't
what do you think the senators could have done other than this?
what I think they should do is, one, the strategy we are using, to secure the country is very faulty. We are not policing our borders. Those people that are, kidnapping and engaged in banditry in Nigeria, most of them are foreigners. Why do we allow them inside the country? How do we allow them inside the country? What are the measures we are taking to get those who are strangers in the country to be clearly numbered And then when are they supposed to exit our country, which is what other nations do? Why are we not doing that? Why are we allowing our borders to be so porous that people can come in and exit at will? So we need to take those practical steps in order to secure lives. Because what I understand that these kidnappers, all these terrorists, most of them are not Nigerians. They are foreigners who come into the country, commit all manner of crime, and get out of the country without seriousness being put in as a strategy in order to curb their entrance into the country. So I think that these are the areas that our lawmakers should concentrate, not punishing somebody who's a victim. Because most times those people who pay this ransom are victims, and they cannot help other than to pay in order to secure the lives of their loved ones who is in custody of a kidnapper, who is threatening day and night, calling you. If you don't bring such an amount of money, I will kill that person. And that person relents the voice and say, please, whatever it is you can do in order to secure my life. Who will hear such a voice? Who will hear such a plea from a relation who is in custody and will not go and withdraw money in order to go and give them? So I don't know whether these guys are thinking at all, in making this law. To me, it's a law that lacks wisdom. And I doubt the enforceability. I doubt it.
So I mean, this might well just be one of those laws we have in our law book that that we will just not implement.
Yeah, there are so many of them we have that we don't. Our problem is that we don't lack laws. But enforceability and implementation of those laws have always been an issue. And this is one of those laws. And I'm saying it here that it is a law that lacks logic. It's a law that does not have any wisdom in the making of it. Because, as I said earlier, anyone that is clearly under agony of a kidnapped relation will do anything in order to secure the life of that, including the members of the house. Let's assume now that any of members of the house, any of them have been kidnapped and they get in touch with the wife or relation, they will just be waiting for the state that is not capable of retrieving the life of that individual to do what? So they will go and pay. And then they will become, criminalized, because that is what the law is trying to do now, 15 years imprisonment. So I think that the law lacks logic, and they can be victims tomorrow. The legislators, can be victims of this law.
All right.
Which guy is not.
All right, we just have to wait and see whether the president assents to the bill or not. we just have to wait and see. Thank you very much, Mr. Onyeka Ubani, for joining us on the program. Onyeka Ubani, by the way, is the chair of the section on public interest and development law of the NBA. Thank you very much for your time, sir. All right, we'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the president of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On DEJI360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, and use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
DEJI360, dissecting the issues.